Good morning, Rabotai, Shabbat Tov. Last few halachot we were speaking about some of the halachot of borer b'Shabbat, selecting, and like we keep on saying, the mantra is to make borer mutar on Shabbat. It needs to be miyad, biyad, and ochel mitop psolet. It has to be immediate, it has to be done by hand, and it has to be food from waste, as opposed to the opposite. Now the question becomes, what does immediate mean? Immediate can mean a bunch of different things, but what does it mean? Maran Zichron V'Bracha discusses this at length in Yabi Omer, in Chazon Ovadia. He does bring down several Rishonim, the Ramban, the Ra'avad, the Ritba, among others, that say that immediate is exactly that. Immediate doesn't mean before the meal starts. The meal has to begin. Once the meal begins, once you're already in the middle of the meal, any forms of permissible borer can only happen during the meal. Whether that is taking, let's say, red tomatoes off of a stem where there are still green ones, whether that is any of the things that are mutar only during Suda, peeling a garlic or an onion for a salad, all of these things, according to these Rishonim, only once the meal has started, not a minute before. That's that. Nevertheless, other Rishonim disagree. Mordechai, Rabbeinu Yitzchak HaZaken, other Ba'alei HaTosfot, they hold that even before the meal begins, as long as they call it Zman Mu'at Kodem HaSeudah, a short time before the meal, it's mutar to prepare before. How long is a short time before? Magen Avraham says that once the men leave the Beit HaKnesset on Shabbat morning, from when they leave until when they come home and they start eating, he says that's considered Zman Mu'at. Now again, obviously not everybody lived in exactly the same proximity from the shul, but they said once the men left the shul, that's considered a short amount of time. Maran Zichron V'Bracha actually quantifies it in the name of other Rishonim, just like we find throughout Shas. A half hour before any given period of time is considered part of that period of time. Therefore, when we say a short amount of time before the Seudah, it is up to an hour, up to a half an hour, not more than that. Now that means that's only if a person, let's say, has to cut up, let's say, a big salad, or do a big maaseh borer beheter, you have up to an hour. If it's a small salad, the smaller it is, or the smaller the amount of preparation, the closer it has to be to the meal. Which means the half hour mark is maximum. Minimum, you have to go as you need for that specific food that you're preparing. But more than half hour before the meal, a person can never prepare, and it borders even on Isur Torah Borer, so a person has to be very careful. Yom Tov and Shavua Tov.